Okay, let's get to work. 401k plans are an amazing way to save money. And the gist, as we all know, is money comes out of your pay, it goes into these investments. Now, where do you get the advice on what to invest in? Most people just go to the HR person and say, what should I do? And as I always say, bless their heart, the HR people do a lot of great stuff. And they say, well, most people do this. Now, they're not financial advisors, and they're trying to do the very, very best they can. And most people just do that, okay? But, check out another video we did on Aunt Millie. Anyway, most people don't get advice. They'll go online and they'll do a search. Did you ever search for something online when you were just asking a question? I got a wart. What do I do? Well, there's 50 websites that say amputation is the only thing you can do. And there's another 50 websites that say, take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. So who do you believe? Well, the same thing is true with your 401k plan. There's a myriad of investments, and some have more than others, okay? And if you're investing long-term is, for me, long-term is 10 years or more. Intermediate is 5 to 10, and short-term is, 0 to 5, as far as a 401k is concerned, okay? If you're investing long-term, you can afford to ride the waves. And I hate those terms. I hate the terms that our industry uses, but you can afford to stand to lose in the event the market does do what it always will do, and that is correct, tank, albeit crash, whatever the vernacular you want to use. The problem is this. Number one, people use the 401k like a piggy bank. Right? You're 29 years old and you just got married and you want to start a family, so you want to buy a house. You need a down payment. You've got nothing saved. So you're going to go and whack this 401k because it's there. You got 30 grand in this 401k, and now you're going to pull the money out because you want to buy a house. Now, I get it. Sometimes you need the cash, and if it means you're not going to eat, it's a different story. And there's a whole nother teaching we're going to do on how to effectively withdraw from this thing. But if you are under this 59 and a half age, you are going to get whacked 10% from Uncle Sam and Aunt Iris. And you're also going to pay taxes on any growth. And actually, you're going to pay tax on all of it because it's coming out. And it was already pre-tax. We're going to go over all that in another topic too. But today, I just want to talk about some basics. So you pull this money out, probably a third of it's going to be gone. Gone. Now, if you lost a third in the stock market because the market crashed, some people would freak out. But yet, you want to pull this money out because you're buying something. Ooh, shiny. You want to buy something, so now losing a third ain't no big. Here's the thing. 401ks are probably the biggest investment you will have in your lifetime besides your house. You don't just dabble with this thing. You gotta get some data. First of all, you need to have a regular old savings account. Plain Jane, 0 interest probably at the bank, but it's liquid. And you need to have 3 to 6 months of what it costs to live in a savings account. People say, that's crazy. Well, guess what? What's crazy is losing a third on your money because you're pulling it out to buy a car, house, or a trip, or put your kids through college, or whatever you're using the money for. The problem is the 401k is a retirement vehicle. It is a car that only drives after you're 59 and a half, and you should never drive it ever, unless you're spending that money for retirement. Well, what about kids' education and down money for a house and uncle? Now, that's where you meet with somebody and say, okay, I need a plan. So instead of taking $200 a week out of my check, putting it in a 401k. I'm going to put, $30 a week into my savings account. I'm going to put a couple of bucks into the kids' college funds, and I'm going to have this intermediate fund for other stuff that's in the future. Don't use the 401k as the end all be all, because it's just nice and easy and it comes out of your check pre-tax and you don't miss it. Then once you've resigned yourself to the fact that the money's coming out and you don't pay attention to the fact that it's coming out, no harm, no foul, until you need something. So, the engine goes on your car, you wake up in the middle of the night, no heat. That's an emergency. Then you should have an emergency fund, savings account. Credit unions, love credit unions. Go to the credit union, pull out the money, do what you got to do. Don't whack the 401k for everyday needs. The reason people do that is because it's the only thing they have to save. Have more than your 401k. And dare I say, don't even start the 401k until you have that savings account with at least 3 months emergency funds available. Why? As soon as emergency comes up, you're going to the only well you own and you're going to suck the money out and lose a third. So, the takeaway for this session is you have buckets. You have a short-term bucket, an intermediate-term bucket, and a long-term bucket. And the buckets are regulated by when you're going to need the money. So a short-term bucket, CDs, money market accounts, savings accounts. Intermediate, depending upon your risk, there's a myriad of things you can go in. And then, of course, long-term could be the absolutely more risk-taking because you have the ability to wait until you need the cash. But if you touch it first, and you negate the ability to wait, and then you take it out when the market's down, and then you pay a third in taxes and fees, you're cooked. Planning is simple. And Aunt Millie and the HR person, bless their heart, they want what's best for you. But just get advice from somebody who knows how to help. So that's today's lesson on 401ks. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, hit all those buttons that everybody tells you to do after every video, and see us on the Money Matters Facebook page as well. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for allowing me into your home and your cell phones or whatever you're on, and allowing me to help you prosper. God bless.